So with that, now I'd like to introduce you to today's presenters, Dennis Bonilla and Justin Mass. As Senior Vice President at GP Strategies, Dennis serves as the Managing Director for the Microsoft Global Account Strategy for GP and Senior Executive in charge of Global Content Development. In this capacity, he oversees all global content development activities conducted by GP for Fortune 100 companies on a global basis. He possesses an MBA in Operations Analysis, a BS in Nuclear Engineering Technology and Biology, and is a certified classroom and virtual instructor. He also served in the United States Nuclear Navy, is a private pilot and professional musician and father of 3 girls. As the head of learning technology at Adobe, Justin Mass spends his time thinking about the intersection of learning, technology, and experience design. His current passion is for architecting what he calls high-touch digital experiences for virtual instructor-led training delivery and applying a digital-only design mantra. He has delivered the synchronous high-touch digital VILT sessions for audiences of more than 1,000 participants simultaneously in Adobe Connect. Justin is a father of 2 and lives and works from his home office in the Hudson Valley, 2 hours north of New York City. So with that, Dennis, I'm going to turn it over to you to go ahead and present.
Great, thank you. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Justin, great to hang with you and finally get a chance to co-present on a platform. Greetings to you and everyone from Mexico City. I'm down here conducting some sessions with one of our clients, HSBC Bank, and they've been kind enough to lend me one of their offices for the webinar. So I'm really excited to be able to do this from a distance and prove that this global distribution network can work. So Justin, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dennis and Kayla, for that great intro. I feel like we needed some intro soundtrack coming in after all that silence. So great to be here too. Very excited about this topic. Really passionate about it, and eager to share our great story here, Dennis, and have a great conversation with you about a lot of where we see this future trending as far as virtual instructor-led training goes.
Great. So in terms of our sort of format, we'll keep it very conversational. Again, if people have questions, send them in. We try not to bog down the presentation with too many PowerPoint slides and bullets, but just sort of major points. But a couple of areas we're going to cover. We're just going to talk generally about the trends in the learning industry and primarily focus on 2 key areas, the MOOCs and then VILT as it applies to sort of the current emphasis that I see at a lot of our client base. We'll talk about those trends. We'll talk about how to inject some of the innovation into the learner experience, and then the exciting part of the webinar, which I feel will be extremely valuable to everyone, is Justin will give us a live presentation of the VILT program that they presented for onboarding at Adobe. I know that onboarding is a huge challenge for most of our clients and our colleagues, and everybody's trying to look at how to reimagine and create a new experience on that. And I think what Justin and his team at Adobe have done has been really, really great. So we'll get started right away with sort of talk a little bit about the trends. Now, one of the research arms that I try to use frequently is the New Horizon report. It's provided by EDUCAUSE and the New Media Consortium, because I feel like they don't really have a lot of sort of axes to grind. They sort of are fairly objective and neutral, even though they have the research reports that I think are as interesting. But I find that the New Horizon report provides some really insightful experience in terms of what's the current trend, what do they see 2 to 3 years out, and what do they see 4 to 5 years out. So if we look at the trend that they expect to pass the tipping point in the next 12 months, and when I say tipping point, I mean really getting to the mass adoption level. Many of you on the call have probably already implemented most of these particular platforms, but some may be in the early stages. So cloud computing, obviously, mobile learning is on everybody's lips, tablet computing, and obviously the MOOCs, and we'll talk a little bit about the MOOCs in a minute. And then down the road, things like learning analytics and games and gamification, open content, and then I think things that will provide some really impactful changes in the learning world and how we design and implement learning. Obviously 3D printing, the virtual and remote laboratories. I mean, many of you may have already seen the news this morning where Facebook bought Oculus, the virtual reality goggles and are really making a big bet on virtual reality and how that's going to impact the learner world. And then obviously wearable technology. Many of you may already have some wearable technology, either from Nike or SmartFit or Microsoft or others. I know that that is the talk around the iWatches and stuff, and I think that'll have a lot of implications in terms of how we connect the technology that we're not used to, like learning wearable technology, into the current technologies and how that will drive improved learner performance. So, Justin, in terms of your sort of point of view around some of these trends, can you sort of give us where Adobe is at on some of these and whether you're implementing some of them or deeply implementing or not looking at any of them?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think we simultaneously have to consider all of them and at the same time sort of in the same breath really ignore some of them. And it really it sort of just depends. So the first thing I would say, what jumps out to me about this list, starting sort of in the near future, right, the tipping point, is definitely the MOOC and the massive open online course content, whatever you want that C to be. The thing that's intriguing to me about the MOOC is this word massive specifically. I think because of the virtual environment, especially sort of the virtual learning environment, when we think about global consistency, when we think about a consistent broadcast message, if we're a global company, we've got regional offices all over the place, the ability to go massive with a larger audience is to me the most interesting thing about virtual learning right now. I want to see, and it's not just so, if you think about the MOOC as it's defined today at least, and really, by the way, these terms, they're open for owner, like as far as definition goes, open for ownership, for you to jump in there and say, okay, here's how we are going to define what the MOOC is. The way that I look at the MOOC is there's a huge opportunity for us to focus on the synchronous virtual learning experience, similar to what we have here today, right? Dennis and I are in the primary speaking sort of roles, but for those folks in the chat pod and who are going to be asking questions and participating in the polls, this is a synchronous, real-time together experience, right? The way that MOOCs are currently defined today, it's really more asynchronous. If any of you have ever jumped into a MOOC or tried to take one of these open online courses, you've got to be a very deliberate type of learner. You've got to jump in there and be ambitious. And if you complete the course, I want to meet you someday and congratulate you, shake your hand. Fantastic and good for you if you made it through all the way through to earn a certification, right? The interesting thing is that's the asynchronous. Anybody can jump in anytime. It's more based on sort of asynchronous discussion forums when you really drill down into what that discussion layer is. I think the more exciting thing is what's the synchronous virtual opportunity? How big can we go there? Here at Adobe, just to give you an example of how I would define the MOOC here, is we obviously leverage a great collaboration tool called Adobe Connect. We've had 1,000 concurrent or synchronous, and you heard Kayla say it on the front end of the intro, 1,000 learners all at once. Designing for that kind of volume and that kind of scale is both exciting and it's also very challenging. And so you've got to be very deliberate. So I think as far as that goes, the MOOC really is interesting opportunity there. Open content into 2 to 3 years out, really exciting for me too. Right now in all of our organizations, right, Dennis, yours, us here at Adobe, we've all got leadership programs, we've got management programs. Some of them we work with external vendors, some we build in-house. The reality is that there's so much recreating of the wheel. If we were to just open up our content, I'm not saying we haven't done this yet at Adobe, but in a near future state, 2 to 3 years out, I could see us doing this, saying like, why don't we all elevate ourselves to the best in class, whatever that content is, and whether it's supported by a marketplace or whatever, or if we just open it up and say, here's the best in class, and we let the customers of our peers sort of vote on that content and say, all right, great, here's best in class, and then we go and localize it in our organizations. I think open content in that space could be really exciting. And then wearable technology, Dennis, when I look out, I mean, it's happening now, obviously, but like I see like a collaboration between like Google Glass and GoPro, those types of wearable sort of almost headsets where you've got two things happening. You've got a screen where you consume media, and then you've also got this broadcast sort of on-air capability of recording live broadcasts from wherever you are. that type of, the influence of those types of wearable technologies in the office is going to create huge challenges, privacy, legal, et cetera, in terms of how they show up in the workplace. But also, if you can imagine an open teaching and learning environment that's supported by some of those wearable technologies, very exciting when I think about, hey, I've got my Google Glass on, and by the way, I'm facilitating a new session perhaps for the first time, and I can go back and sort of reread the audience, see how certain segments landed and that sort of thing. But it also becomes a powerful teaching tool as we think about maybe enabling participants with Google Glass, for example, recording their own sort of first-person POV kind of experience there. So those are the ones that jump out to me, Dennis.
Great, and again, they're all exciting. I can't wait for the day, like in the movie The Matrix, when Neo needed to fly the helicopter, and all he did was sit down and get it downloaded into his head and started flying. It took me 5 months to learn how to fly. I really would have preferred 5 seconds, so I can't wait.
Right, exactly. So, the instant download.
So let's start off with a poll question, because as we go into the topic of VILT, I get deeply embedded in a lot of the strategies that Microsoft and Cigna and Nike and stuff, and everybody's got a strategic initiative around VILT. I'm curious around the audience, if you could open up the poll, Kayla. Is your organization's planned delivery of VILT as a percentage of the delivery modality mix that you had last year? Is it going to be greater than last year, less than last year, the same, or are you still sticking with traditional modalities and not moving to VILT? So if we could open that up for the poll. Justin, what's the experience at Adobe? I know that at some of our clients there's a desire or a target set for maybe doing 20% VILT. In some cases it may be higher. Some cases that's seen as a stretch goal. What's your experience at Adobe around the VILT as a part of the delivery mix?
No, and it's great. And I just want to thank all currently 188 of you who are dialed in. And so make sure you jump into the poll and let's get a sense from you. We'll hear from, Kayla will open up those results in a minute. We'll get a sense of where others are going. But here at Adobe, we certainly are taking a very aggressive position in the virtual space. It doesn't take much when you think about the emergence of, Cisco, like telepresence, for example, Cisco, whether it's Skype, Cisco, whatever else. A lot of these technologies are approaching sort of saturation, ubiquity, and so it's not hard to imagine, I think, a future state where VILT is almost the primary channel. And at Adobe, we actually recently, in the last 18 months, I would say, went from sort of 80% more of a traditional delivery, face-to-face, classroom, and have completely flipped it in 18 months. And it's in some ways it's our L&D, what I would call the analogy of our L&D group going to the cloud, right? Here at Adobe, we went from shrink wrap, software to cloud, creative cloud, marketing cloud, right? And we've got this great cloud strategy now. In the same way, guys, I think we have to think of our L&D practices, our businesses, as really moving to the cloud. And what does that look like in a totally different way? We will be delivering 80% now in the virtual space. Now, what does that mean? It doesn't mean that we can just get away with things like, webinars. And this is pretty interesting, right, Dennis? Like you and I, we're here to talk about this, and we've definitely designed this experience to be as engaging as possible. But the reality is that even words like webinar, while they have great shared understanding in terms of what people think of them as, they also sometimes think like, oh, I'm going to be there, it's going to be mostly a listening experience and those types of things. And we've got to fight against sort of the deteriorating brand, I would say, for a lot of the virtual learning. There's a lot of bad stuff that's out there. And so when we think about designing for a digital-only kind of environment, we've got to think about experience, the totality of the experience. What's sort of the media layer? What's the discussion layer? What's the co-creation layer that makes this experience great? It makes it more than just sort of hearing someone who is an expert talk, right? And so we're definitely looking at a strong 80%, and we're going to continue to do for key talent and our high potentials. We'll continue to do a great, very in-depth, very modern classroom for our face-to-face, but the scale, what the virtual ILT can give in terms of the scale and global consistency so far outweighs, I think, what you can deliver with the same resources in a face-to-face classroom environment.
Well, that's great. So let's see what our participants said. Kayla, can you release the results?
Yep, can you see them now?
Yeah, it looks like, Dennis, right, 67% of those polled here, and thanks guys, again, 193 of you now, right, are going to be doing greater than last year. So I think, in terms of the trend that you mentioned, Dennis, this is definitely in line with that. Some folks, same as last year, zero, well, it looks like 0% are going to be doing, what's the D choice? None, I guess, at all. So it looks like 10% will be doing none whatsoever. So I think, a strong trend there in the positive direction.
Great. So I agree. I think, the user experience is what's going to be important in terms of not deteriorating that brand, because certainly all of us have had poor experiences in a virtual environment. And, in the past, we couldn't depend on the technology, but that was, maybe 10, 15 years ago. I think the technology on all platforms, whether it's, live meeting, link, connect, whatever, is very stable. I think that the challenges remain around, like you say, designing for digital first and designing for scale, and what does that mean, and how does that implicate changes in terms of the skill sets of the designers. And then finally, the facilitator themselves, the difference I see between somebody like a Howard Stern, who can keep you entertained without seeing your faces, versus a Tony Robbins, who obviously, can keep you engaged in a face-to-face session, but I'm not sure would he be a great VILT instructor. So it'll be interesting to see how we can manage and improve on that user experience.
Yeah, and that's an excellent point about sort of the talent profile, right, as we think about the future, and what types of people we need to put into those types of roles who can deliver this at a very high level.
Okay, and then the second question we want to ask is, folks, people are experimenting and embedding VILT in their modality mix. We see it obviously a lot in technical training. Microsoft does a great job at their tech events in terms of doing virtual training and embedding that as part of that. And now we're seeing an emerging trend on also soft skills. So Justin, what's your opinion around, can you do a great job in VILT for professional skills training, which typically has been something that, requires much more what I call gourmet learning, that rich interface with the instructor and the participants and the breakout groups and collaborating and all that. What's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I mean, I would say absolutely you can. But again, you've got to have someone thinking about the experience, the digital experience. The challenge I think a lot of times we face, Dennis, is like what we all know, because we all started there, is this environment called the classroom. And so we can't escape the influence of our own history when we think about designing for a digital space. We tend to think about, here's what the classroom experience looks like. Now let's translate that, or how does that translate to this virtual ILT experience? And that there may be opportunities for translatable components or bits of a classroom experience and how they would show up. But I would challenge us to say, is that the right way to start thinking about it? And again, back to this digital first or digital only kind of attitude, right? I think we've got to look at the digital space and say, what can it do well? Where does it have weaknesses? Something like a breakout room, for example, I'm not a huge fan of that. I think that works extraordinarily well for localized conversation in a face-to-face kind of classroom environment. But to be honest, if we had 1,000 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, whatever it is, in a virtual session, the breakout becomes extraordinarily burdensome in terms of the administration of that. And then for the facilitator to kind of go, you almost need 10, you have to get 10 more facilitators to kind of do a quality breakout. So it really depends. You've got to, with a really critical eye, discerning eye, you've got to look at all the capabilities that whatever your virtual platform is and say, what can it do well in a digital only kind of experience? And so specifically, I think what virtual ILT can do really well is video. There's a ton you can do with sort of role play, or you can do with mentoring or coaching one-to-one, and you can do what I would call high-touch digital. Have the video pod, if you will, even if it's webcam sharing, have that go to full screen. A little bit later, I'll give you a sense of that in how we do that. We go to full screen with this high-touch digital. Bring that human touch to the digital experience, and that's really what I mean about high-touch digital and really a digital-first or a digital-only kind of attitude. I personally think you absolutely can do it. Is it the solution for everything? it's a great hypothesis. You should challenge yourselves in your organization and say, first, how does this land with our audience? Do we have the right person designing it in the first place? Do we have the right talent sort of going on air? There's a lot of considerations there, but I absolutely think you can do a high quality experience. You've got to think it through and not necessarily just say, hey, here's what we did from a legacy or historical perspective that we're hoping to sort of just transform into this virtual space. That's where we fall down.
Yeah, I think, where I have fallen down, and I think, we've gone down the same rat hole, is many times we're driven from this conversion mode of thinking, right? We want to convert from the classroom to VILT, so why don't we design for both? Because we start looking at it in terms of cost efficiency and cost effectiveness, and I don't have to recreate the content. And I think, those are all done in the interest of providing a cost-effective, efficient solution, but not necessarily comes out with the best outcomes, as you would tell, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great point. And for some of us even, right? If we're in a high volume shop or practice, we have to do a lot of different sessions in those courses or programs, whatever you call them, right? Or designing a lot of different assets. We also fall down sometimes even in the classroom, right? Where we typically think of where does the classroom begin? Well, in other words, if we go back in time before the classroom and we end up, sort of back in a presentation template or something, or some kind of, whether it's PowerPoint or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that, but we're not all necessarily classically trained to be presentation designers, right? And so, or graphic artists for that matter. And so when we look out there into the media influences of the world, whether it's, high production quality videos, but amateur on YouTube, for example, gorgeous graphic design that we see all over the place. We are fighting as L&D professionals and talent development professionals, we are fighting against consumer media. We've got to step our game up really big time and think about the total experience design for our learning, whether it's classroom or virtual ILT or whatever, and all of the media components and different layers of that. And that's who we're competing against, because our attention span today is crazy, right? Like, give me 2 minutes and my attention is gone, right? Like, and I think I'm hoping, at least for Dennis and I today, right? Like, our primary way to keep you engaged today is through our voices, intonation, those types of things, really nuanced, smaller things. In the VILT thing, right? What we're doing right now on the screen, in the polls and those types of things. But it's really, you've got to look at all of those different layers that make that up, and then design with consideration for all of them.
Okay, so Kayla, what are the results? I don't have the percentages on the yes or no.
Yep, we're just going to a few more seconds to let the poll close out, and we'll go ahead and get those posted.
All right,
so what do you think it'll be, Dennis? Yeah, what do you think it'll be?
Oh, I think it's going to be split 50-50. I think
yeah.
there's a lot of people who, one of the questions like, oh, wow.
Oh, I love it. Oh, my God. So this should get you excited. Right? We've got almost 200 people on here, and almost all of them believe that this is something that we can do, or that we will be doing, or that we will be doing at a high level. So I get so motivated when I see results like that.
98%. That's fantastic. One of the questions that came in, Justin, maybe you might want to address it, is, we talk about, the assumption we're talking about is we need VILT because we want to go massive, scale, global, whatever. But if I'm a smaller and a medium-sized business out there, give me some of your points of view around, would this change your recommendations around how you would approach the learner experience or the design experience?
Well, if you're a smaller business, or you're a small shop, or you're tight, strapped for resources, to me this feels like a very smart investment, investing in a platform that helps you facilitate virtual ILT sessions. Here's why. If you're going to think about traveling all over the country or internationally or whatever, right, there's a huge cost savings, obviously, in jumping into a VILT session. The other thing is, in smaller teams, too, there's an intimacy. So I think, the interesting thing is that intimacy in a virtual ILT session may break down as we go higher and higher volume. That doesn't mean that we have to sacrifice the learning experience, but you have to design differently for 20 people in a session than you do for 2,000. Or, so in other words, the expectation of volume, if you want to go massive, you're going to have to scale back. You're not going to be able to do breakout sessions or whatever. If you have 10 or 20 or 50 people, you might be able to get away with breakout sessions. So again, the size of the volume should definitely inform your design on the front end. And that will obviously allow you to do things like go deeper. If you can also design for 2,000 and have only 10 people show up, and if 10 people show up, then what a treat as a facilitator, right? What an opportunity as a facilitator to really go deep with a smaller cohort like that. So I think there, it just depends on the way that you're thinking about it and how you are framing up that environment in the first place. But just because you have a smaller or more intimate group doesn't mean that the co-creation or the shared experience layer of the virtual ILT should be compromised. Not at all. In fact, you should be able to build greater and stronger community with those who did show up, those 10 folks who did show up. And it's also just really good for small teams. So 5 people, I'll show you a little bit later, Dennis. Remind me with these keywords, Brady Bunch. I will show you a snapshot, a picture of how we did a Brady Bunch kind of webcam screen share with our entire talent team. We've got 40 of us all at once fired up our webcams in Adobe Connect, and you'll see it's like a remarkable Brady Bunch kind of moment. People were actually taking pictures with their webcams and tweeting it, or with their iPhones or whatever, tweeting it in real time out into their social channels, because it's such a remarkable example of like the human nature once we turn our webcams on and we get a bunch of us all together. So I think you can still do extremely high touch regardless of the volume that you're going to be looking at delivering to.
Excellent, perfect. So we talked injecting innovation. A lot of people talk about challenges for effective implementation. I'd like to take the poll on the people. Do they feel their biggest challenge is still around technology? Is there a challenge around the content is not compelling? I mean, one of the design points we've emphasized in the past, and maybe it can be minimized going forward based on how the design of the experience is, but around having these interactions like we're doing now, where we're forcing people to participate, or the learners to participate in an activity to keep them engaged. So if the content is too passive and too pontificating and too didactic, people are going to get lost. A lot of times it's facilitator shortcomings, and then there's also this concept of cultural resistance. So if you could open the poll, Kayla, and we'll try to find out from our audience, what do they see as the biggest challenge to effective VILT? I think, from a technology perspective, are there still technology challenges? Sure, especially in those countries where bandwidth is an issue and other things, or even, with, if you're on a cell phone or some other connection or mobile connection and it's dropped. So, I mean, those things are frustrating. But for me, I still see a lot of cultural resistance. How are you seeing this at Adobe, Justin?
Yeah, no, these are all totally legitimate concerns and challenges, right? The technology, absolutely, it's true, especially as you think about extending to a mobile field of participants, right? The experience is not always the same. If you're joining from an airport, for example, and so there's inherently challenges there. The compelling content, non-compelling content, like I mentioned, I think we're competing against all of the beautiful digital media that you see in the world. You should step up. Everyone should step up to that challenge. Think about who's got graphic design capability, or who you partner with for presentation design. Your brand is on the line, guys, right? When you think about content, what you put forth visually in front of folks. The one that stands out to me, though, here, Dennis, I know cultural resistance definitely important, and that's certain organizations will have that. Some organizations, there's a legacy of really rich face-to-face classroom experience, and you shouldn't look at those as two competing oppositionary sort of things. There's room in the ecosystem for harmony between keeping your legacy programs going and supplementing, or complementing is probably even a better word, complementing that ecosystem with the virtual ILT. The one that jumps out to me, though, here, and I think this is hugely important, and it's hugely important for face-to-face, but you can get away with it more in face-to-face if you have facilitator shortcomings. But in the virtual ILT space, I really think that this is a huge one. We've got to relearn or learn for the first time what it means to be sort of a broadcast personality, what I call going on air, quote unquote, going on air. I use words like, I do this intentionally. Before we launched this orientation program that I'll show you later, I actually spent a couple of months studying Anderson Cooper, like what he does, like going into breaks, commercial breaks. I'm not joking, right? What does he do coming back from commercial breaks? What language does he repeat and reuse so that people, like, keeping them honest? And as for some of you, I hope nobody out there hates Anderson Cooper. This is going to be a really bad example for you, and for you, I'm sorry. But like, and I don't love him, but he's really professional in his routine, his rhythm, his cadence. We've got to think about ourselves going onto camera, and being comfortable. You've got to get your light right. You got to shine it in your right face. You got to, get your energy up, when you go online and those types of things, or go on air, right? And so I think that's a big one, right? Getting people, because it's not about whether or not somebody translates to the screen. It's about how well did we prepare them or equip them to, with feeling comfortable doing that. And it starts with just like, hey, flip that webcam on, get your light right, and start like looking at how you look as a broadcaster, as a news anchor almost. I think that those are helpful kind of tips that I certainly use in my field of work.
So the results of the poll are in, Justin, and as expected, facilitator shortcomings and non-compelling content jointly are about the same number, 44%, 43%, and jointly comprise, a tremendous amount of the challenges. So you went from 20% VILT to a target of 80%. How do you scale the instructor base to select those instructors and scale those instructors to be able to do that?
That's a great question, man. You've got to do a talent review. You almost have to, and this is crazy. This might sound crazy. I hope it doesn't. But think about like a casting call, right? We didn't do a formal casting call here, but what we did was we looked around our talent team and we said, okay, X, Y, Z, these folks or whatever, may be translatable. They might, they might be able to show up in the right way, sort of on-screen presence, those types of things. But you have to do a review. And the other thing is, if you're looking at open head counts, guys, or you have a hiring opportunity or a backfill or whatever else it is, you should be thinking about how well, in a digital future, imagine the Matrix 5 years from now. Is the person you're hiring today, like, are they somebody who can learn to step in to that type of role? Or do you see them as screen ready, or even just screen ready-ish, or screen, teachable? Screen ready, teachable, right? Those are some of the considerations. But yeah, you kind of have to look at who in your organization is out there that, and it's not just about a look, it's a presence, right? It's an energy, it's a presence, and you'll notice, today I've got, thanks for the reminder. I threw on my red Adobe hoodie. It's like there's all these little things that kind of add up. So you really have to, take a screenshot almost of yourself, of that person you're considering for that role, and kind of, look at the entire, a minute clip of video or whatever. How well do they do, and are they engaging with the camera, looking right at it, those types of things. But those are all teachable, and they're also learnable. And so you should also think about, hey, who on our existing team is somebody that we'd like to maybe put up into one of these broadcast kind of roles.
Great. So if we move on in terms of, we talked about the MOOCs and sort of, you said you would shake the hand of somebody who actually went through the entire experience. I agree with you. I mean, I signed up for courses, and I'm one of the guilty ones that, either loses motivation or loses, the discipline to do that. But, when I look down and look at the MOOCs, the abandonment rate or the non-completion rate is huge. I mean, it's less than 5% on average across all MOOCs, across all courses. And if I look at VILT and, we look at the client base in terms of the folks we're working with and within GP around our Fortune 500 client base, and that, we also find that there's a tremendous amount of not, I wouldn't say necessarily called disappointment, but you get 200 people to sign up, 50 show up, and then finally 20 finish it. What are some of the more effective barriers? And I'll ask the audience to sort of give their point of view on this. But I've seen a couple of different strategies. There's pre-communication, where we're driving a lot of passive digital communications, bombarding you with these email reminders or whatever. And then obviously the concierge service part of it, where you actually do a live follow-up to the registration to say, hey, make sure you join us tomorrow. It's going to be great or whatever. Obviously, the combination of compelling content facilitation would reduce abandonment. Obviously, keeping the sessions to sort of our attention span, and obviously our attention span, especially those of us in the technology world, is probably less than 5 minutes. I mean, there isn't a session I go to where people aren't multitasking, right? There's all sorts of stuff going on. And then, maybe a barrier might be where you require an assessment at the end in order to sort of show completion. All of the above, none of the above. What's your experience at Adobe to drive less effective? I know you have great metrics and results for this course that you're going to show us.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing here that jumps out to me, and it ties directly to the brand that you will be known for, your reputation that you'll be known for here, and it's really this optimum combination of compelling facilitation and content. That is the experience, right? So everything else is sort of like mechanics, right, that in this list or whatever. Targeting the right amount of time, is there an assessment, everything like that. But ultimately, when the person leaves the experience, and whether it's face-to-face or VILT, when they leave the experience, they're either leaving thinking, I might come back to something like this. I'll never come back to something like this, or I will definitely come back to a session like this, right? And that we have to own that sentiment. We've got to create the experience that leaves them feeling like I will definitely come back to that experience. And how you do that is with compelling facilitation and content. As you continue to deliver experiences at a very high level virtually, people come to expect that this is the brand, this is the reputation. I can expect a learning experience like that. So you have to take it very seriously. It's not a quick and dirty, throw it together very cheaply kind of thing, or else you'll get a kind of quick and dirty and very cheap kind of experience, right? The one tip, and I'll show you how we do this later in the demo, the one tip I would say, Dennis, more than anything, is when you start a session, the first thing, the most important thing is set the tone for participation. Set the tone that this is not going to be just a listening experience, and I'll show you how we do that on our front end, or on the front end of our orientation design in what I call our lobby layout. And this is an area where people just show up and they're not even in the session yet. We haven't even got started. It's 5 or 10 minutes before. Similar to how we were hanging out in the radio silence before this session, but we actually have like a layout where people can interact with maps and polls and chat pods and those types of things. Before we even get started, they're already participating. That's the huge thing. It's about designing for that participant-driven experience. And as soon as you do that on the front end, you don't have to worry so much about abandonment or retention. Like, people realize, like, holy, I'm not just sitting back and kind of watching on one screen and live tweeting on another or whatever else it is, that they're in it, they're part of the experience, their contributions make for the shared experience. And I think that's a huge, huge point to call out.
Great. So the poll results are in, and 46% have said the optimum combination, so I'm glad to see that we have residents there. And then, 33% say all of the above are interesting. The reason we have put in there none of the above was, there might be something that we've missed in terms of a clever strategy, and hopefully if any of our participants or folks on the call have a strategy that isn't any of these that we've talked about, I'd love to hear that. But now I think we ought to go right to the fun part of the presentation, Justin. So
talk
to us about the case study. What you guys did, what the challenge was, and get into the demo.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was a really exciting design challenge for me. I basically said, we came together and we said, wow, this orientation experience, we've got one going on over here in EMEA, we've got sessions over in JPAC, we've got different orientation experiences all over North America. This existing 4-hour plus, in some instances 4-hour, more than 4-hour, multi-site face-to-face orientation, really difficult to deliver, really difficult to schedule, really difficult from a quality control perspective. And when you think about what orientation is, guys, right, it's the first impression. It's still part of the candidate experience. You've just hired this rock star person or somebody you believe who is important to the future of the company, and what's their first impression in orientation? Like, is it a 3-inch binder or a 2-inch binder? Like, how many days do you have them in a room? Like, and what are you doing with them? And so I said, wow, great design challenge. So I came up with, hey, we've got Adobe Connect, we can do this. I said, I took a look at the, what's need to know information versus sort of nice to know, what can we make on demand? We pulled that out of the experience, got down to core 90-minute orientation that we deliver in Connect. It's great because we've got the shared environment, gives us this consistent scale. So while I offer it here in North America on Pacific, time zone, for example, our partners over in EMEA, when they launch the same program in a few weeks, you will also be able to share that environment. Not, so highly repurposable environment gives us that great consistent global scale. Again, like we talked about, high touch digital, and I think it's about keeping the screen alive, right? Like, and we've done a pretty good job with this, like in our leading up to this point, but you'll really see it come to life in the share. And so, I guess without sort of further ado, I will jump over and begin sharing my screen, and I'll give you a walkthrough. And it's great. We've got 20 minutes, I think, left, Dennis. So I'll try to target 15 minutes or less for the demo, because people, I'm sure, are going to have questions, and we can kind of open it up either in the chat pod or however else, or even Dennis, as I'm doing the demo, if you want to, and Kayla as well, feel free to field questions in the chat pod or that come in the Q&A, and then we can kind of answer them with enough time at the end. But Dennis and I, we will also, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll keep an eye on the chat, and you focus on the demo.
Okay, fantastic, because then we can also extend any conversation that was sort of left unanswered, for example. We'll make sure that we extend the conversation, and you can follow us in our social channels. And so first of all, Dennis, let me get a confirmation from you that you can see me here in this Connect environment, and that I'm sharing the screen for all of our participants today.
You look good, Justin, really good.
Thanks, man, perfect. So a couple of things, guys, I want to point out before we actually, jump off right here. This playback, so this is Adobe Connect, but within WebEx. I mean, I bet those two product teams will be fighting about how crazy this is that we're doing this, but we're doing it anyway, right? So the video playback and everything like that you see may be a little bit off just because of the buffering. We'll be playing video here, and it'll be also being interpreted essentially through WebEx. So a couple of points. This is our lobby layout. Usually, and I'll just show you how it works here. I'm going to set the timer here. Usually we get like at the 15-minute mark, we start coming in. People are here. You can do things like drag this purple pin over in the map to where you're joining from. You see the map sort of come to life. We've got a media pod over here. You'll see me. Here I am up in the top left, sort of animated and alive. Slow down just a little bit, no problem. Thanks very much for the note there, Kayla. I'll slow down. I have one speed, and I just tend to go at that speed, so I'll slow it down a little bit. This is our lobby, and you'll notice this is just all to set the participatory tone for the learning experience. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is when we open our session, we go immediately into this high-quality video space. And this is a video from our CEO, Shantanu, and my boss's boss, Donna Morris, who's the SVP here at Adobe for People and Places, also known as HR. We go into a really gorgeous video, high-touch digital welcome video, and I'll just play the front end of it just for a few moments, not the entire video, but just to give you a sense of the experience, and then I'll walk you through some of the layouts that we're going through.
I am Adobe. I am Adobe.
I am Adobe.
I am Adobe.
Welcome to Adobe. I don't think there's ever been a better time to be at Adobe. Our mission as a company has always been to change the world through digital experiences.
Adobe today is everywhere you look.
Magazines.
So I'll just stop it right there because the video goes on, I am Adobe, welcome to Adobe. It's just really, personal welcome video. But again, because we chose video here, we're a global company, and it may be months before you meet our executives, and so this video really helps with that. It also introduces, a little bit of, virtual FaceTime to the experience. I'm going to transition now to our sort of next layout, and this is where I'll show you that example of when we go from one layout to the next, and now you're going to see me sort of become full screen. What we do here is a very high-touch digital facilitator welcome, and right now it's just me, but we leverage, and this is another important point, you might you can take a note on it, but we will leverage a dual facilitator format. So it's myself and a co-host, and we always every Tuesday co-host these experiences together. So it's really nice in terms of the getting not just one person talking, but just like Dennis and I are doing today on the call, being able to have two people talk. So that's really an important piece. What I've also done, and I'll transition now to another layout, and this is what I mean about the screen becoming alive or staying alive, guys. Really important. But what you'll notice here, and this is our first sort of co-creation activity, if you will, This is a shared experience. Like I said, participatory by design. We spend a lot of time prompting participants, and here you'll see three different, so chat pods, this is a multi-stream environment. In the center of the screen, you see three questions. Why did you choose Adobe? What were you hired to do? What are you most excited about? And I left a couple of the legacy comments in from this past week's session. We actually had a smaller session. Usually these chat pods are completely full. What I want to do also at this point is just introduce you to the next layout in our orientation experience. I'm not going to go through all of these today. I'm just going to show you a few of them. But what I'm doing in transitioning between this multi-layout environment is a few things. You'll notice, look at the screen right now. You see where I am. Here I am, right up in the top left corner. Below that is the participants list. We'll have 20, 30, 1,000, whatever the number is. And below that, this anytime chat pod. That column together on the left-hand side, running down the left-hand side, remains persistent. As everything changes in this environment, as we go through this multi-layout sequenced environment, where we're constantly re-grabbing your attention, the center of the screen will come to life and change and move. But the left-hand column, as well as the right-hand column, you'll notice, called Insights, right? And this is a pod where we ask people to capture what they're learning in real time and to synthesize what they're learning in real time and then to essentially live tweet it within the Connect environment in real time. And you can read through some of the legacy comments there. Part of what
Justin, a quick question.
Of course.
Is it all English speaking across the 40 locations, or is there localization or any translation issues on the new hire orientation?
So right now we deliver this in North America, but we've created replicate environments for EMEA and JPAC, and those environments will be localized as needed in the region. And so right now in North America, we obviously deliver this in English, but there's an opportunity for anyone, again, shared environment, if we need to, right? If there needs to be a translation or a local facilitator, they could just step in and be speaking in a different language. And yes, with all the materials and assets or whatever else need to be localized, or for example, the videos have closed captioning and in the native language, absolutely. But those are all considerations that we face every day in a global company, right, guys? So the other thing here is we operate 39 countries, 68 offices, 16 time zones. That's part of why we do that. You take a look here, and again, we're setting the participatory tone of this experience, right? I also want to show you a core values exercise. So our core values here at Adobe are genuine, exceptional, innovative, and evolved. And what we do with this 4-pod layout, you'll notice some graphic design influence here, kind of a grid layout. And again, you'll notice now that sort of what goes into the background a little bit is the left column and the right column, and you're starting to notice what happens in the center of the screen, even though I'm here persistent again in that left-hand column in the top left, right? But we ask people to say, oh, this is your second day at Adobe when we offer this experience, right? It's your second day here. Which of these 4 core values most resonates with you, and why? Go into that chat pod right now, and I'll just simulate it for you, right? Exceptional. I like to work with smart people, exclamation point. So that's how it happens, right, in real time. And we ask people to jump in, and you see, again, the legacy comments there and that sort of thing. We do also then jump into, and next up in our demo or accelerated demo here, because I do see we're coming up on time and I want to make sure that we get through it all. What you'll notice, you kind of have a sneak peek behind the scenes view, if you will. You'll notice on the far right-hand column, you just maybe saw me scrolling on these tiny little thumbnails, depending on what size screen you're joining us from today. Those are the different layouts that we use here at Adobe for this orientation experience. And so as I click through them, that's what makes the changes on the screen appear before you. And so here, when we start to talk about, because this is a really important piece of orientation, being able to speak intelligently about Adobe's business immediately upon your hire is really important. And we've got 2 big initiatives, or business units, if you will, here at Adobe that are hugely important: Creative Cloud and Marketing Cloud. And so we frame up this video, and again, you'll see how the video playback, and I'm not going to play the entire thing, but just a snippet to give you a sense of how this experience, again, this is a simulated experience, truncated view, or a curator's look inside this sort of museum, if you will. And so I'll cue up this video here. This is how our customers learn about Creative Cloud, and so we thought it makes sense to use the same materials to teach our employees about Creative Cloud if they're new to the business.
Maybe you've heard about Adobe's Creative Cloud, but you're still not completely sure what it is. Simply put, it's a whole new way of working and creating, giving you everything you need to do your best work. When you join Creative Cloud, you get all the same state-of-the-art.
So this is not a Creative Cloud sales pitch. I'll pause the video right there. But just again, give you a sense of the experience, right? The next thing we do.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah, please.
Since you set the expectation, where's the Brady Bunch? Throw us the Brady Bunch thing you were talking about.
Oh, you want to see? Yeah, no problem. So no problem on the Brady Bunch. I will show that. I'll give that to you. And I'm just going to actually share. So watch. This is a little bit of real-time design here, but I'm just going to add a share pod to the environment. And this will show you sort of some of the power, I think, of Connect. So I'm going to add it right in the middle here. I'm going to share my. Well, actually, you know what? I don't need to do that because I'm already sharing my screen for you guys. So I think I had to do that in Connect. Look at this, guys. Dennis, can you confirm that you see that?
I see it.
Okay, this is just me taking a picture of Adobe Connect at one of our global talent all hands. This is 40+ webcams streaming all at the same time in Adobe Connect. And, you know, I don't know how many we could get to, but we could do a lot more. This is just who we had in the meeting at the time. You'll notice these folks here in the top at the top of the screen taking pictures and live tweeting the experience. Like really high-touch digital, again, when we think about that part of the experience. I'm just trying to minimize. Oh, no, I can't minimize that. I'll have to minimize it from here. So let me get back into Connect. So is there anything else that I want to show here? I think we've shown enough, Dennis. We're at about 9 minutes left. I'll end the demo here, but there are a few other pieces. We talk about our check-in performance framework after we blew up annual review here, and we replaced it with this great thing called check-in, which is a series of conversation between your manager, really about the quality of relationship and facilitating those ongoing feedback conversations. But I'll stop sharing now, and we'll flip it back over to the WebEx, and we can close out with any questions, Dennis, that you feel that came in or from Kayla. And thanks very much for allowing me to go offline there a little bit with the demo.
Well, beautiful demo, Justin. Just fabulous. I love everything you've done. There was a question that came in around populating those thumbnails and those. Is the content created directly in the thumbnails and then you sort of flow through it? I mean, can you give us a little bit around the actual authoring process for that?
Yeah, absolutely. So in Connect, you start with a single layout. And the layout is basically all of those different thumbnails that you saw on the far right. A layout is made up of a series of pods. And those pods are those different things. So you saw like the webcam pod in the top left. You saw the participants pod. You saw like a share pod with a PowerPoint deck or a video in the center of the pod, or a chat pod or a poll. You can create a layout in Adobe Connect and then another layout and another layout. And each of those layouts can be somewhat similar. So you notice that we had those persistent columns, if you will, that framed out the Connect experience for our orientation, right? On the far left and far right, while everything else in the middle, those pods came to life. But as you click through those layouts, that's how the screen sort of becomes alive and changes. And so authoring a new Connect layout is simply deciding what components do you want on your canvas. It's an amazing experience, actually, as a learning designer, to look at a completely blank Connect layout and begin to drop pods into it, like you saw me start to do at the end, where I added a share pod, but then I realized that I was already sharing in WebEx, so it wasn't necessary. But that's the opportunity, right? It's this canvas, and you're really creating a digital experience by assembling pods in different layouts in a different, in many different ways, multiple media kind of format, as well as sequential layout where you go from one to the next and that experience builds. So it's very, very conducive to re-grabbing the attention of participants along the way.
Right, and for those folks on the call that have been sending in very technical questions around the platform itself, there will be another webinar specifically for the platform. But in terms of sort of closing this out, one of the things I'm really happy to report, Justin, is we maintained a greater than 90% non-abandonment rate throughout the hour. So hopefully that's a reflection of the work and consistency that you put in to sort of putting the content together. And I really, really appreciate all the time and effort that you've put in to sort of making this such an engaging and fruitful conversation around where VILT can go, abandoning the thought processes of the past, or starting with a clean slate and designing for that. So if you have any sort of closing remarks,
No, I mean, the only closing remarks. Closing remarks. I mean, first of all, thanks so much for the privilege, and I'm glad. I'm not surprised by those retention. It's you and I here on the phone, right, Dennis? So I'm not surprised that we were able to keep 90-something plus % retained. I would say this, right? Dennis and I, you'll see us on Twitter. You see our handles right there. We're happy to extend the conversation with you guys into the social space. Bring your your questions forward. We even talked about sort of, potentially, right? And Kayla, it's still just an idea there, but perhaps creating scheduling a tweet chat where we'd extend this conversation, some core questions that maybe remain unanswered from the chat pods here, and bringing those forward onto Twitter, anchored to a hashtag, and where Dennis and I could, can continue to co-facilitate, co-host that conversation. But in any case, definitely tweet at both of us on Twitter. I'm at JMass, and you see my man Dennis there at MedicineMan, and look forward to keeping the conversation going with you guys.
Yeah, Justin, if I can jump in. If I could jump in for just a quick second. I know we're getting close to the time. I think we might have time for a few more questions, but before we get to that quick, I just wanted to say thank you to both of you, and then also send a reminder to the audience that if you do have a question, go ahead and enter it into the Q&A module, and after the call, if we don't get to it today, and we could probably stay on for a few minutes later, we will address it, like Justin said, either in a follow-up conversation via Twitter or on our blog, and then we'll also be sending out an email to everyone on the call who provided their email address for us with a copy of today's presentation, a link to the recording, and then also a follow-up conversation where we can continue the discussion with Dennis and Justin. So we do have a couple of questions. Do you guys have a few minutes to get to a few of them?
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You got me for another 4 minutes, and Dennis probably too, right?
Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so we'll try to get to a couple of those, and also I know some of you were asking about that virtual tour. That will be an actual true demo of the platform, but that kind of brings me to my first question, which is, aside from Adobe Connect, are there other platforms available that you can talk to a little bit that do host virtual courses?
Sure. I'll answer. I don't want to put Justin on the spot for endorsing.
No, totally fair. Thank you for taking that.
But I will strongly endorse the Microsoft platform, both Live Medium and Link, and we use it with the Microsoft team in close collaboration, and that's been a great tool for us too. So I think, we tend to be a little bit more platform agnostic because just like LMS is, I think the platforms eventually all sort of catch up to each other with features and functions, or they become sort of obsolete or start losing relevancy in the marketplace. I would say, it's really a sort of a enterprise IT learning decision around which platform to choose. Obviously, Adobe has their own platform. Microsoft has their own platform. At GP, we don't have our own platform, but our clients are all on different platforms, so we use all of the platforms depending on what our client is using. So I think they all have equal and great capabilities to drive engaging content. At the end of the day, like Justin said, you can have the best platform in the world, but if the content and the facilitators aren't compelling, it doesn't matter. The platform will fail, not because of the platform, it'll fail because of the user experience.
Yeah, you'd absolutely get a plus 1,000, Dennis, right? I think you need a skilled designer who can come in and learn what the platform can and can't do, and then based on that analysis, be able to flex it in a way to build a digital learning experience or a VILT experience based on what the platform can do, what it can optimize in terms of learning.
So another question that came in quick was around Justin, your demo, and how it was great presentation, but that it kind of felt a little bit busy and somewhat distracting, especially as someone who's not familiar with the technology. Have you found this to be an issue with your users?
No, we haven't really at all. I mean, we live in a multi-screen, multi-stream environment, and this is really no different. Your attention bounces all over the screen, whether it's a graphic right now. I mean, just look at the screen for those of you who are still here with us, right? You've got pictures of Dennis and I, and where our phone numbers are and our Twitter handles, and you've got media above that, and then you've got polls and everything else. This is the reality, guys. I mean, this is a digital learning context, and while it may be busy, we haven't seen any feedback or results. Our job in that environment, in that context where everything is competing for your attention, is to own getting your attention, right? That's our job as facilitators, and And, you know, right now, Dennis and I, you know, the primary, we're doing it, and you're looking at his picture and looking at mine perhaps, and you're hearing our voices, and we're doing it over the phone just through auditory, right? And so, but that, you know, we haven't seen any customer feedback that said, oh my gosh, this is too much going on or too busy or anything like that. I think it's designed very inclusively of the types of sensibilities and the way that we participate in exchange media in a modern digital workplace.
A great answer. And by the way, one of the last things people said, you know, the challenge now is really implementing, right? So we've given everybody a lot of great ideas, and they've got their platform of choice. But at the end of the day, it's, you know, having the discipline and the forbearance to implement it. I'm sure it was not an easy implementation to get this to go land well, right, Justin?
It's very true. A lot of work on the front end, design, conceptualizing, storyboarding, and then building the Connect environment. But I will say this, where the design and the development ends, execution begins. And so the implementation, it's very doable, guys. You just got to get it set up, and then think about how the scale benefits that come from it. So you've got that environment set up. You don't have to keep building it. You don't have to keep showing up. You know, like you can get in there. You can get a co-facilitator in there, co-host, or someone else in another region sharing that exact same environment, and gives you that global consistent scale. So I think yes, there are some on the front end some heavy design considerations to as you start to get your feet wet with a lot of this stuff, but you'll also the rewards in terms of the execution side is fantastic. You fire it up, you click the link, it opens up, and it's right where you left off from the week before. Highly repeatable, highly scalable, very globally consistent.
Well, thanks, guys.
I think you've got us for the hour, Kayla. It's time to close it out.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, first of all, thank you everyone on the call. Thank you to our two presenters. There are a number of questions that we were not able to get to. We will be sure that they are all followed up on, and look for our follow-up email with a link to the recording, the slides, and then also we'll be able to let you know how we're going to continue that conversation with Dennis and Justin so we can keep asking great questions and getting great answers from these two experts. So thanks everyone, and have a great afternoon.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Justin, thanks a lot, and hopefully we'll do another one of these soon.
I'm looking forward to it, Dennis, anytime.
Thanks, man.
All right, you too. See ya. Bye.